morning, everybody. We're here for a special meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners on June 20th, 2015. We're calling this meeting in reference to some work that we're doing at the Tuckahoe Firehouse as part of the construction project to rebuild the apparatus floor as well as the front apron. I want to call the meeting and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so like I said, we're calling the meeting in reference to the work we're doing at the Tuckahoe station. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Inkledon that he give us a summary of progress as well as where we're headed with this.
Okay. I'm just going to read off a brief summary I put together, and then we can open it up to anybody who has questions, all right? In 2014, the district hired an engineer to assist in the repair and replacement of floor and ramp in our Tuckahoe Firehouse. The entire ramp and eastern half of the apparatus floor had become pulverized after decades of use. After consulting with an engineer on the integrity of the floor and ramp and the expected cost of repairs, it was decided that we would move forward with a partial replacement of the floor and a complete replacement of the ramp. The decision to replace only half the apparatus floor as opposed to the entire floor was rooted in economics and necessity. At the time, the district requested a price estimate from our engineer to replace the eastern half of the apparatus floor and the entire ramp. The estimate came in at $225,651. The board then weighed the estimated cost of the project, the potential for overruns, the need for the district's other firehouses, and our overall budget. Given those considerations and the fact that the western half of the floor was structurally sound, it was decided to replace only the damaged section, or the eastern half of the floor. Fast forward to May 11th, the district receives bids to perform the work and ultimately awards the project to Palladino Concrete Creations for $172,647. This is $53,000 below the estimated cost. Work commences on June 15th. The damaged apparatus floor is removed first. Once the site is open, it becomes clear that significant cost overruns due to structural deficiencies and issues with the subbase, namely bedrock, will not be incurred. However, it is revealed that the drainage and waste lines are severely damaged and need replacement. Further, these same lines run under the western half of the apparatus floor, not being replaced. Also under that section are galvanized water lines. These lines are original to the building and likely in very poor condition. After consultation with our engineer, and in light of the information available to us at this time, it appears that replacement of the entire floor would be both prudent and cost-effective. Palladino provided us with an estimate to remove and replace this section of the floor, replace all plumbing underneath it, and epoxy coat the finished floor. The total for the additional work is $58,669.15. That would bring the total cost of this project to $231,316. While the total cost is almost $6,000 above our initial estimate, the scope is more comprehensive and will likely eliminate the need for repairs well into the future. That's where we stand. So really, in the end, one of the reasons for contemplating replacement of the western half of the floor is that when we took up the eastern half, it became obvious that the piping, the drainage lines are completely destroyed. And the concern is, and to a point where they're rusted both inside and outside, and there could be a failure of the pipes that are under the western side of the floor. If that were to happen and water took a leak underneath, that could create issues where potentially that floor would not become structurally sound as water would erode the subbase that's underneath it. If we had to then go in, saw cut that section of the floor just to replace the drainage and waste lines, as well as if we had a problem with the water lines, the galvanized water lines, the cost of that repair could be extensive, and in fact could probably equal what it would cost us to just take the entire floor out now and replace all of that plumbing. The engineer was on site, he inspected it, he strongly believes that we should at this point, given what we know, move forward with a full replacement.
Okay. For the public's edification, keep in mind that I think, Mike, when was this firehouse built?
I'm gonna ballpark 1915, 16?
Yeah,
No, I think it's more than that.
It could be, you're
Later.
right.
It's
It's
in
at
the
least
20s,
100
Mike,
years.
because
Oh, later?
I was told many years ago it's between 26 and 29.
So it's so old that it actually has a stable facility for horses.
Yes,
So
yes,
we're
because
looking like
we're
that.
talking-
the man who told me this, his father's horses used to pull the rigs.
Yes.
So there's no way that we really could have foreseen any of this until we escalated the floor, is kind of the point of my
Exactly.
conversation.
No, you know, it was hard to tell. Some years back, the water main was replaced from the outside in, but as we open up, we realized there's still a good 30, 40 feet buried underneath that floor that is original galvanized pipe. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time for a galvanized water line to be in existence. And
Okay.
you're really just asking for trouble if you leave it.
All right, so in total, I mean, Commissioner Ledun identified the cost in total of $58,000, $669. It's actually broken up into basically three separate proposals from Palatino Construction. One is the 3x3 catch basin slab being replaced, that was $2,541. And then removing the exterior slab, existing slab, was $39,391, and then expanding the epoxy coating to the left bay or the west bay at $16,737. So I want to see open the floor to pass a resolution to accept these additional change order cost as it relates to the Tuckahoe construction project.
So moved.
Peter, second?
Aye, I'll second.
Okay, so poll all board members?
Aye.
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 And aye. Okay, motion carried. 55. All right, after discussing, I mean, this has to be, since we're gonna be moving money around in order to pay for this, we're gonna read in a referendum for this capital improvement. So, a board resolution, whereas the capital reserve fund for the capital improvement for the town fire district of the town of Eastchester was properly created by a resolution, whereas the reserve fund has sufficient funds to fund additional repairs under the Tuckahoe floor project as part of a change order to Paladino Concrete Creations. Now therefore, the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District duly convened in a special session does hereby resolve as follows. Resolve that $58,669.15 not to exceed the monies now on deposit in a capital reserve fund for the capital improvement for the town fire district of the town of Eastchester, New York. Be and the same hereby is appropriated for the Tuckahoe floor project. I hereby authorize to empower myself, I guess I shouldn't have read this, should I? To make such payment. Yeah, we should have actually made Peter read this since we're gonna.
You want to read it, or you want to?
Yeah, I think it's best because originally we were gonna expect Commissioner Winter to be here, and he's not gonna be here.
Well, you actually authorizing the treasurer to make.
Yeah, so we gotta authorize the treasurer to do it, so it's best if one of the other commissioners read it in and then authorize me to make payment.
You want to read it from where you left off, or
No, you're gonna
reread
start from
it?
scratch, yeah.
Reread
You wanna
it?
do that? So in other words, you're authorizing me to make payment.
Tell me where to start.
So start from the start, and then you're gonna read it because it's gonna have my name. So I should have handed it to you, I apologize.
Whereas the A Capital Reserve Fund for the capital improvements for the town of Fire District of the town of Eastchester, New York was properly created by resolution. Whereas the reserve fund has sufficient funds to fund additional repairs under the Tuckahoe floor project as part of a change order to Paladino Concrete Creations. Now therefore, the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District duly convened in a special session does hereby resolve as follows. Resolve that $58,669.15 of the monies now in deposit in the A Capital Reserve Fund for capital improvements for the town fire district of the town of Eastchester, New York, will be the same hereby is appropriated for the Tuckahoe floor project, and Commissioner Napolitano is hereby authorized and empowered and directed to make such payment. Resolved that this resolution is subject to permissive referendum and that authority is given for proper notices to be given. Notice is hereby given at the Eastchester Fire District, Westchester County, at a special meeting thereof held on the 20th day of June 2015, duly adopted as subject to permissive referendum, a resolution, an abstract of which is as follows. Pursuant to Section 6-G of the General Municipal Law, a resolution expending $58,669.15 from the A Capital Reserve Fund for the capital improvements for the Town Fire District of the Town of Eastchester, New York, for the purpose Tuckahoe Floor Project Change Order. This resolution shall be subject to a permissive referendum as permitted by law. Commissioner Nalpano has offered a motion to accept the permissive referendum, and a motion was seconded by Commissioner Inkler. The board was polled by Commissioner Nalpano. Aye.
Okay, so poll the board here today to see if we want to move forward with this permissive referendum.
Gentlemen, please vote. Would you like to proceed?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Motion carried. At 12:59.
Okay.
Any comments from the public? All good? Anyone else want to have any other discussion? We're good?
No, the only thing I could say, everything is progressing, and Peter's put a lot of time and effort in it. I tip my hat to you, Peter.
Yeah, as well as Ralph. Ralph, thanks for...
And Ralph,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would
Yes.
like to add that the chief, assistant chief, and Anthony have all been very involved in going to the site, inspecting the work. They've picked up on a number of things that we, asked the contractor to address. And, project isn't finished, but so far, things are running smoothly, and thanks to all their efforts.
Okay, so, close the meeting, or anyone want to make a motion to
I'll
close the
make the
meeting?
motion to close the meeting.
Okay, 1 p.m. Aye.
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 Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.